Hello, everyone. We are Group 2, and this is our Top Tech presentation. My name is Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ami.
I'm Hani.
I'm Windu.
And my name is Wanda Jan.
So the agenda for today will be the topic of working from home, the new normal and how we can adapt, the problems inherent, the solution that we've come up with, implementation and cost, as well as a question and answer period towards the end. So as you all know, 70% of our staff are now working from home permanently, with most meetings handled by Zoom. It's not the perfect solution, and we'll be going over why. Next. So the issues with Zoom meetings. There's obviously reduced engagement, a lack of focus, Zoom fatigue from constantly attending these meetings. And of course, there's the difficulty in communicating and visualizing ideas within such a limited space. It just isn't the same as, poring over plans on a boardroom table and coming up with ideas. Next. So here are some solutions we looked at.
So before we come to our final solutions, we have investigated into two potential solutions. So the first potential solution one is the remote desktop solution. So the remote desktop is a computer software that can allow multiple users to connect to the same company desktop remotely, and they can also access the local data such as audio, images, and the videos, and they can able to collaboratively edit those files on the computer, and also they can download the file to their own local computer. So there are a few advantages of this method. The first one is pretty flexible, since workers can connect to the local company's desktop from anywhere, and it's pretty cost effective because you won't need to have any physical space for your employees to work, and also being able to share one desktop means you only need one license for software, which the license could cost you a fortune. And it's also compatible with different operating systems, meaning that a wide range of devices can be used for working. And however, there are a few disadvantages about this method. So the first one is the limited interaction between workers. Since they're only working on the remote desktop, the interactions between workers are very limited. And to connect to the remote desktop, to have a good user experience, they need to have reliable internet connections. And before they start using the remote desktop, there are trainings required, such as safety training and trainings of how to use the remote desktop to being able to edit files collectively. And the last one is the companies would have to have powerful hardware on their local remote computer, being able to host the power for multiple users. Next slide, please. So the second potential solution is video conferencing, and I believe many people know this kind of solution for remote working. So video conferencing is a computing software that can host digital video meetings for multiple users. So as we all know, many software that are in the same market of the video conferencing, such as Zooms. So there are a few advantages of this method. So first one is also reduce the cost compared to the in-person meeting, because you won't be able to need any physical space for your meeting room, and also the software like Zoom, they're able to record and auto-generate the transcript for documentation purposes. So, however, there are also a few disadvantages of this method. So first one is there will be less personal interactions and less variety of communications between your employees because the limited interactions offered by the software, because you can only use microphones or video cameras to communicate with each other. And the second one is you also need reliable network to have a good user experience with your employees. And the last one is you will need some training to be able to host meetings properly. Next slide, please.
So as a consulting company, developing products, collaboration between employees is really important. So what if we could have meetings in VR? As you can see here, we've got a bunch of quotes from the Harvard Business Review, such as it creating conditions for remote collaboration and innovation that are as good as or even better than in person. Next.
All right. Our ambitious solution can be implemented in Metaverse. As you know, Metaverse is founded in early 1990s, and it makes it possible to do all the stuff and all the activities they can do in the real world, in the virtual world. Metaverse itself contains many projects in itself, which most of them are based on cryptocurrencies, which is kind of a drawback for Metaverse because the money tracking is going to be really difficult for the companies if you use the cryptocurrency. That's because many banks, especially in the United States, are denying to use Metaverse. That's because of issues and financial issues and money tracking. And also, this is our prototype about the virtual space that you can actually create in the virtual space in the metaverse. And there is a email login, and there is no sign up because you already had the email from your company. And if you go to the next slide, it's going to be next slide, please. It's going to be a welcoming page, and it needs you to prepare the infrastructure and also the equipment you will probably need to join the virtual space. So the reliable and actually uninterrupted internet connection, especially the uploading speed, is the thing that you will be constantly need in the metaverse. And also the other equipment which is absolutely necessary is virtual reality headsets. That we have these sort of headsets in the market right now, especially Oculus Quest 2. You can actually buy it on Amazon for $500, which makes it really reasonable for everyone to it makes it actually affordable for everyone. And also the other thing is hand sensors that stimulates your nerves to feel everything that you can actually feel in the real world in the virtual world. And companies are trying to mix them up in the future and trying to shrink these kind of virtual headsets to some kind of lens that you can actually put it on your pupil. This makes it really more realistic in the future. Next slide. These are the schemes that we provided for the virtual office. As you can see, you can actually do whatever you probably be able to do in the real world in the virtual office. It doesn't matter doing some analytics, start chatting with your colleagues and meeting your co-workers in the sharing rooms. And also this is what Metaverse makes it possible for many people, and giant companies like Facebook or Google trying to skew their projects to this space because it makes it really reasonable for the company, and in long term it makes many revenues for the companies. Next slide.
Well, what are the benefits you'll be getting by adopting the VR technology? So the VR technology allows you to replicate your office work environment, even though you are miles away from your office physically. Like Zoom, our teams, we are creating the feeling that you are inhibiting the same workspace with your colleagues. Secondly, by incorporating this technique as business, it helps you to cut your cost for office space, supplies such as tables, chairs, papers, etc., and most importantly, utilities. You can rent out your the space, extra space, or use it for some other better purpose. Uh, and also, this platform provides you to create your own 3D avatar and customize it to more personal. It brings life to the discussion, making you feel that you are at the table with your colleagues. Where technology helps you to keep the staff engaged during the trainings, through virtual presentation halls with built-in training programs, and also availability of more visual aids to share information is another advantage of adapting via technology. It emphasizing the points with facial expression and body languages benefit that you will experience in this technology. And also, but last not the least, due to removal of commute to and from work, you can build a better, healthy workforce and reduce the stress of your workforce.
Okay, so the cost of developing a VR application is determined by the type of content you want to create. Some applications can be created using only 360 degrees films, while others will require entire CG settings. The size and complexity of each will affect the entire cost of development. The cost of a 360 3D interactive video is around $10,000, and a non-gaming mobile VR application will cost between $50,000 to $80,000 in CG-based environment applications. Next slide. Okay, so these are the price formation factors. Firstly, the more experienced application developers are, the higher the fees they want, and their knowledge will have an impact on final costs. However, the quantity is superior. Secondly, it's only natural that specialists from a country with a high level of living have higher expectations. Virtual reality applications are not cheap to develop. Their implementation requires special knowledge. A simple application takes around 3 to 5 weeks to make this, and applications that are complicated takes 1 year or more. At last, a method of payment. You should choose a more flexible price scheme based on the specifics of your project if you are willing to pay more of higher quality. Next slide. Price of using VR technology in business. In 2017, the virtual reality market was expected to be worth USD 17 billion. The global economy will be valued USD 25 billion by 2020 and rising to USD 184 billion. The world economy will be worth around $66 billion by 2026. For VR headsets, one should expect to pay around $500 to $1,200 plus a setup and delivery fee is around $150 to $1,200 per headset. Okay, so how much does it cost to start a virtual reality company? As per the table, minimum startup cost is around $750, which include rent, utility, Wi-Fi, and internet. And maximum cost is around $7,000.
Okay, so in conclusion, taking a look at the overall cost of the project, we can see that there's a high initial cost. There's going to be a short-term productivity loss, as well as a large learning curve for the employees. But looking towards the future and where we can go as a company, of course, we can see that there's going to be greater collaboration, eventual innovation and productivity boosts, and we can explore ideas like never before. So in essence, we're taking one step back, but we're going to be taking 2 steps forward. Questions?